Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the backyard in the shade while we can, because this is actually park shade, because in the afternoon we do get some sunshine out here. And I have this very large wegiela. Don't give me grief about how I say wegiela. Weigela, however you want to say it. It's here. It's an old one. I have two. They're multi-stemmed. They're both around 10 feet tall, and like maybe a little bit taller in some places. They were both here when I moved in, so I have no idea what the variety is. They have this really beautiful dark burgundy flower, and on this side I have a golden rain tree that I just planted a couple years ago. They bloom together, which is absolutely beautiful, with the yellow, bright yellow chains of flowers right next to the burgundy weigela flowers. Just gorgeous. But it is time for me to prune this back now. Last year I really just did a light prune job on it and it bloomed like crazy. Weigelias bloom on old and new wood, so you can prune them pretty good, or you can leave them alone, whatever you need to do. I just need to, what I'm trying to do is just rejuvenate it a little bit more, get a little bit more of a dense canopy, and bring the canopy down just a tiny bit. The shape is pretty good. We did a really hard prune on it a few years ago. As a matter of fact, that video is our most watched garden video on the Gardens and Graveyards channel, on this channel. So I will link that down below because everybody seems to really love it. And maybe you will too, and you can get a little bit more perspective or ideas of how I prune these shrubs. I'm going to turn the camera around, give you a closer look, because I know it's really hard to see. We've got a birch tree kind of hanging up over the weigela. See those dark branches right there? That's a tree. And then below that is all the weigela, and then below that we have a Japanese lace leaf Japanese maple, and we have a bunch of ferns. So I understand that in the in a video it's hard to see when everything is super mature and everything's green. This is why when you're designing a garden and you are able to put like something blue and something red and something yellow and something green all together, it really lets you differentiate the plants, or something that has really different textured leaves. All these leaves, other than the fern, and you can see the ferns, they're really like standing out, right? Because all the leaves and the trees and the shrubs around here have a very similar structure. So it's hard to really see what I'm doing. But we will step a little bit closer. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and then we'll step away and you can watch me prune, and then we'll take a look at it afterwards. So just to show you, like, this is the golden rain tree, and it has these well, they have seed pods right now, but this was all yellow flower. When you get up close, the leaf structures are different. So this has a three leaves, you know, on one, like this is a leaf, but what is it, petioles on one leaf. And then the weigela is right here, and it has, you know, it looks really similar. It's not the same. I'm just gonna pull one of these. So this is the golden rain tree, and then this is the weigela. And when you're right up on it, it does look different, but it's not different enough for sure. And then, well, we'll just go up this way. this is the birch tree, and then this is the weigela, and just looking up like that, it's almost impossible to tell because their leaf structures are so similar. So that's what I mean when I'm saying have different structures. When you come over on this side where I started planting things, and we've got, let me back up just a little. So we've got the weigela up here. We've got a black lace, a lace leaf maple, and then an evergreen huckleberry and a fern behind there. And you can see, even though these three plants are green, you can clearly see they're different types of plants. And then moving down a little ways, I've got a magnolia here, and now the magnolia has also, this is the weigela, this is the magnolia. They also have very similar leaf structure. But then we've got crocosmia here. This is the other weigela in this space, and then we have a escallonia over there. Again, the weigela and the escallonia, even though the escallonia has denser, more shiny, darker green leaves, it's really hard to tell unless you're looking super close. So that's just like my example. So in this space, what I want to do is bring the canopy of this shrub down a little bit. If I can, I would really love to take out these branches. This tree drives me crazy. It's so large. It's like the base of the tree is so far away, and these branches are leaning. Let me see if I could show you. So in here, this is the tree that the branches are all over in there, and the tree is way back there. So anyway, I'd like to actually cut this limb off. You can see it's going straight up right there. It's got a nice leader. If we could just take all that off and let that grow, I would be so happy. I think I have to have my brother come help me with that because that's a big job. Okay, anyway, let's just get into the weigela. I don't want to get lost in all the things that need to be pruned. I just want to get this shaped up. My goal is obviously to bring down the canopy a little bit, to, like, there's a branch like sticking way up over there that's not part, you know, I just needed to look like it's part of the shrub. I guess all my pruning jobs is just like making each plant have its own space. And so that's my goal with these two shrubs today, is making it clear that they are their own plant, especially since all the leaf textures are so similar. I'm guessing I have about an hour before the sun hits me, so my first priority is just shape, and then we'll get into it. All right, so I was right. It's been just under an hour, like 55 minutes, and the sun has arrived. So, I'm happy with what I got done today. I could go in and do a bunch of little tiny detail. There's so much, you know, once you're inside there, you see how much more you could do. But honestly, what I did today is you could clearly see the shrub and it's separate from the tree, which was my main goal. And I took out a bunch of like twigs that didn't have any leaves on them, so just cleaned up the interior of the shrub so it's all nice and clean. When you keep the interior of the shrubs and trees as clean as possible, there's less chance of disease. So I like to keep them pretty clean with airflow in there. But yeah, I got both of them done. There's definitely, like, that birch that huge branch has got to go this year. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. One of the challenges that I have in this area is this space is flat, but then it drops. I'm gonna say about like 8 feet, 6 feet. And so then you're on the other side of the shrub, but now all of a sudden it's, 6 feet higher than it was before. So it's really hard to get to, and we're on a slope. So, a ladder doesn't really help. I could probably get to some of it with my pole pruners, but it's not important enough for me to do this time. I want to get the birch out of there, and then I'll be able to see if there's really something, significant that needs to be pruned off of one of these shrubs. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'll show you what it looks like from up on this side, which is where the camera was, and then I'll take you down below so you can kind of see what it looks like on the other side. We did just pile everything up right here. All the sticks are facing one direction. And the reason I left it like this is because these have really straight branches. So other than my little pile of crocosmia here, but most of it is just like really straight branches. So we let the leaves dry down, and then Spencer can throw it in the wood mulcher easily. So here we are. I didn't get to that space up there. If you're able to look really close, a lot of that is actually the I don't know. I don't think that's a birch. I think it's an alder. I keep saying birch. I'm pretty sure it's an alder. Yeah, it has little cones on it. It's an alder. So, sorry about that. Anyway, when you get up in that space that looks like it's not the same as the rest of the shrub, a lot of that is alder. But you could see through the branches now. It's nice and clean. Overall shape looks pretty good. I didn't take off a ton of old wood, so you could see this is where the blooms were at the tips here. And all of these were blooms, and then go in further and there was blooming there too. So I think we won't sacrifice very many blooms. This space here has clear separation between this wegiela and this wegiela. The magnolia has her space. I trimmed down the huckleberry so it's out of the pathway and out of the shrub, and then I did take quite a bit off the top of this so that there's separation between the alder and the wegiela there. I didn't take as much off of between the escallonia and the weigela because the escallonia will be the next big pruning project. It's blooming right now. You can see the blooms, and the bees absolutely adore that. So I leave it and let it bloom, and then in like a month or so I'll come in and trim it up. So yeah, this is what it looks like over here. It's just, you know, nice and clean. Everybody has their own space. And then if we come down this direction, so this slopes way down. So we go from here, and I'm just gonna keep it at my head level so you can kind of see how it drops if you look at this canopy of Gaultheria. So I come, and the wegiela is right here. It's arching over right here. And then I drop 2 steps down, and I'm 2 feet down. 2 big steps down, and I'm like 4 or 5 feet down. And now the wegiela is up there, and like I don't know. It's hard to tell on a camera, but I'm at least 4 feet from touching that branch. And so, and then it just keeps dropping down further and further. So we'll turn around this way. It's slow enough to not make you dizzy. And you can see it's just like, it's way up there now. So trying to get, like, you could see there's like these old branches. I would like to come in and cut those down, but a lot of that is just this older branch coming into the weigela. And then this is the other weigela, and there's some big branches that I could actually come in and cut out. I just need a bigger tool than what I had on me. And then it goes into the Escallonia. So you could see the branch, or the shrub, is clearly separate down here, and this one to this one is clearly separate. It's just up top. They've kind of grown, the canopies have kind of grown together. I did scare out a little mole right here. Came out of his hole and he went zoop. He scared me as much as I scared him. But that's the other reason why I try to keep in between my ferns really clean, just to avoid too many encounters with critters. Oh, my allergies are hitting me with all that pollen. Okay. I need to go take a shower, get all the dust off of me. Like I said, really happy. Everything looks really clean, shaped up, ready for the next year. The video that I'll link below, when I pruned it in a video a couple of years ago, we did a really hard rejuvenation prune, which is completely different than what I did today. Today, it was just about aesthetically pleasing and making sure that the plant had plenty of airflow and it's happy and everybody's in their space. The video that I'll link below, we did a really hard rejuvenation because it hadn't been pruned in years and years and years, and the entire canopy was way, way up high. You could barely even see the flowers. So keeping the canopy low on these older shrubs is kind of important so that you can enjoy the flowers. Otherwise, they're just going to be way up at the top of the tree or the shrub. You're not going to be able to enjoy the blooms. So that's one of the reasons we will prune these older shrubs. And of course, like I said, disease and you know, bugs and that kind of thing. When I first started pruning on this, it had like either a beetle or earwig really bad. All the leaves were damaged and looking just terrible. And now I'm only noticing a little bit of rust on one side, and it's the same. Like over here, we have a rhododendron right on the other side of this fence that also suffers from rust. So I think there's probably like something going on over there that I just keep continuing to treat, and hopefully it'll get under control soon. Anyhow, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and that way you can see any new videos that I post right away. If you become a member, you'll get the videos the minute I upload. Otherwise, it will post at 5 a.m. the following morning. And yeah, I hope you're celebrating your life, and we will see you in the next video.